AI panel recommending AI governance guidelines report. This happened yesterday at a press conference that was called.
Imagine you're making your 2026 technology roadmap and suddenly the government hits the brake on your plans because they have formed a new expert AI panel and they are saying you need to change your strategy right now.
The Ministry of Electronics, Information and Technology unveiled the guidelines of India's AI governance.
In fact, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is set to establish key bodies called the Artificial Intelligence Governance Group and the Technology and Policy Expert Committee by December to govern AI ecosystem in India.
S. Krishnan, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India were amongst other dignitaries in attendance.
So, what's going on? Here's the thing. India isn't just tweak policies. It's signaling the U-turn in how it views the AI, from purely the growth or investment stage to the governance or control plus strategic risk. And your IT strategy is right in the crosshairs.
Thing on this and whatever it needs to do using technology for regulation, making sandboxes, risk mitigation in various forms, and not something which is written in stone.
Over the next 5 minutes, we will cover the 3 core shifts this panel means for your enterprise IT strategy, 2 global ripple effects, and 1 urgent board level action your CIO or CTO must start this week. Look back 12 to 18 months.
Deepfakes, misinformation, algorithm biases, as well as security threats.
India published its governance guidelines under the India AI mission, floating rule books and promoting innovation.
The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has unveiled the India AI Governance Guidelines.
Now we have this new expert panel that signals the sandbox phase is ending and the regulatory phase is beginning. First shift, oversight and risk control move from the voluntary to the formal. The reports from the panel under the India AI mission recommended establishing a technical secretary, incident database, and interministerial coordination. For you as a CIO, that means the hope will be okay, but the mindset no longer works. Your AI system will face the audits, there will be likely be mandatory reporting, and governance will be back into the vendor contracts. Second shift, what used to be optional like governance, traceability, and ethical review increasingly became mandatory. Like the recent publishing guideline says, trust, fairness, accountability, and the safety are not optional anymore. For your enterprise IT budget, that means you are not just buying services. You're buying oversights, reporting, traceability, maybe even redesign. That means bigger budgets, new teams, and new vendor clashes. Third shift. This expert panel moves is not about India. It signals the global firms that India is so serious. As one research piece puts it, India path to AI autonomy means localized models, domestic supply chains, and regulatory capture of value. So, if your global IT strategy assumed that India is just a region, you might be wrong. You may face the localized demands, vendor changes, regional contracts that different from your global templates. In the mix here, Ashwini Vaishnav has recently said AI must be made for India, trusted for India. Also, the RBI Committee on the AI in Finance recently recommended 26 reforms, including the audit framework and multi-stakeholders oversight. So, what does this mean for your board? Third thing, your strategy risk is higher. Regulatory shocks can hit unexpectedly. Your contract risk is also higher. Your current vendor deals may not be supported for the new clashes. Your differentiation opportunity is also higher. Those who align early will build the trust and gain edges. So this week, gather your AI inventory. What model, what data, what governance in place. Then ask your legal and procurement team, do our vendor contracts allow for Indian specific regulatory changes? And third, model one scenario of governance cost for 1 year if you shift to the full compliances. So here's the truth. In tech, disruptions comes fast, but governance resets can slow your model and hit harder. India puts its chips on the table. If you treat it like a nice to have, your risk beginning treated like a legacy case. If you treat it like a strategic imperative, you can stand in front of the row. If you want a 1-page governance readiness scorecard for your IT strategy, comment readiness below and I'll pin it for you. Subscribe so you don't miss the next section where we will go through the sample contracts or the red line checklist for Indian gear AI deals. See you on the other side where strategy meets the regulation.